Now, My Footy Sports presents Bojangles Friday Night Rivals. The JL Mann Patriots versus the TL Hanna Yellow Jackets.
Gridiron tonight, a key South Carolina matchup for a couple of teams with high hopes this year.
Yeah, it's great to be back. It's a 5A Region 1 game in the state of South Carolina. Two powerful teams. JL Mann coming off one of the best seasons in 40 years, 11-3 1 year ago. TL Hanna has won 10 games the last 3 years, so both these teams expect to win games.
Yeah, this is a team that has recently and regularly played for state championships, and as you said it on the man side, knocking on the door and right on the verge. Give us an idea of what you can expect in this one tonight.
Well, as far as TL Hanna is concerned, they lost a lot from 1 year ago. They want to run the football. We all know that. So JL Mann will have to defend that. Mann has just been so good offensively. They average about 44 points per game. They're coming off a win 31-0 over a very good Hillcrest team. Same thing for Hanna. Good win over Woodmont, too, as well.
Yeah, this is another one of those. Should come right down to the wire, and we're glad you've chosen to spend a portion of your Thursday evening with us to witness it. For a little more on this matchup, what's going on here at TL Hanna, and what it means to the overall landscape of high school football in the Palmetto State, let's check in with Nelson.
For those of y'all tuning in at home,
Well, JL Mann's Patriots and the Jackets of TL Hanna have taken the field. We're just about ready for a little football here in the upstate of South Carolina. Happy to have you with us. Bojangles Friday Night Rivals. Yes, it's a Thursday night edition. As we've mentioned, Tom, what does this Thursday night contest come down to?
JL Mann has got to stop the run. That's what TL Hanna does, and they want to maintain momentum coming off that 11-3 season a year ago, 4-1 right now. And, you know, they'd like to get a win against this Hanna team who's won 6 straight. Hanna wants to control the ball, keep it away, and they want to prevent explosive plays, which they can be able to do. JL Mann.
A Region 1 5A showdown between the Jackets and the Patriots. Key region contest for two teams off monstrous years a season ago, with high expectations in the playoffs right around the corner, as hard as that is to believe, even though they're playing rapid fire Saturdays, Tuesdays, in this case Thursdays, to get all the games in. Two teams with championship dreams are set to go at it here tonight. And with that, we are underway on Bojangles Friday Night Rivals. This Thursday night contest is happening. It was a win of the toss by JL Mann. They deferred to the second half, so Hanna gets the football first. You see a minimal return there, and now we get our initial look at Brandon Cunningham. And for the senior, Tom, decisions become key tonight in this option offense for Hanna.
Only 3 returning starters from a year ago. They want to run the football. They like to be a little bit more effective than they have early on. They're still 3-2 on the year. They're coming off a nice win over Woodmont.
They do have the All-State back in K.D. Patterson, part of the stable of backs you will see. Again, it's about a number of different playmakers, but so many of those key playmakers from that deep run in the playoffs again last season, and that other double-digit win total, another one around here at TL Hanna, having moved on due to graduation. So they're looking for so many young players to make a difference. This one going to be kept right in between the tackles, and JL Mann waiting for it. You know, we talk about making an adjustment to the triple option offense. Something that's tough in a full week of preparation, Tom. When you're doing it in a limited window like Mann has had to do here, it makes it an even greater challenge.
Yeah, very difficult to do on, as you said, short time frame. And we'll get into the broadcast about how many games you're going to play. But going against an offense like this, it's very difficult to prepare for.
Cunningham and company back up to the line here. Going to give this off. That's going to stay right in between the tackles there. Actually, Megan going to turn and give this to KD Patterson there, handling the quarterback responsibilities. We talked about a number of young players who are going to be given opportunities and responsibilities here as they try and elevate their game. It's the junior working with, as we mentioned, the all-state senior from a season ago, the 5'11", 175-pound KD Patterson. He works it to a 3rd down and somewhat manageable now. It's going to be 3rd down and 4. A little bit of a stoppage as our officials get set to talk things over. Haven't introduced you to the men in stripes just yet. Our referee is Samuel Miller. Gaines Massey is the umpire. Greg Curitin is the linesman. Our line judge is Christopher Smith. And Gary Guffey is the back judge, the officiating crew in this one. And they just made the home fans happy. It was an offsides call against the Patriots, and it moved the chains for the Jackets.
Hey, that's
our initial 1st down of the night.
Early big penalty because you had them 3rd down and 4. It's a team that doesn't want to be in 3rd down relatively long.
Rushing near side, and just beyond that Palmetto flag into the 35, make it the 36-yard line. On this touch of the football, Trayvon Johnson having his name called. And that's a solid 1st down gain for Johnson. Here is the offensive look brought to you by Bojangles for TL Hanna.
Yeah, you take a look, and I tell you, we mentioned KD Patterson as one of the running backs. Matt Bozeman can catch it, run as well, and a couple of senior tackles in Levi Gainey and Lathan Metz.
A challenge for what is a 4-man front on this series for JL Mann, weaving right through it. As he is slung to the ground is the ball carrier Patterson. Before that happens, though, another flag comes in. Tom, you mentioned how consequential that first flag was. We'll see what they sort out here. This one, though, going to go against TL Hanna.
Well, the other part about that is it's a team that really wants to run the football. They've been so effective under Jason Tone, and Coach Tone took over Jeff Herron, who went 25-2 in the 2 years that he was here. We talked about having won 10 games 3 consecutive years. They operate out of that, and you can get a lot of big plays out of the option offense, but you really don't want to place yourself in a position where you're in a long down situation.
Talk about the decisions that must be made tonight. Kevin Megan at the quarterback position in this one, and he is now facing 2nd down from behind the sticks where things were trending in the proper direction for Hanna right away. And he's directing some major traffic here, trying to get everybody lined up in proper positioning. He brings Strong and Hatton all the way over to the near side. And timeout's now going to be called for. There was so many moving pieces to that pre-play sequence that TL Hanna wanted to make sure everybody's on the same page, and they'll call a timeout. Gives us a chance to give you a look at JL Mann's defensive alignment. What have you noticed on the defensive side so far?
I'll tell you, led by Duke Thomas along that forward wall, the nose tackle, and nobody better than Wyatt Ward, the all-state linebacker, as Coach talked about in our pregame show. And then Isaiah Morrison also, he'll be a running back, also is a linebacker with 20 tackles as well. And then you get into the secondary, and it includes Josh Lee, the strong safety, 4 interceptions, had 2 of those coming against Hillcrest.
All right, Tom, let's talk about the storyline in this one. Obviously, adjustments being made all over the place. Certainly the case in football as well. 14-day stretch,
Wow.
4 games played for the teams in Region 1. Each region was given the opportunity to decide how they wanted to do it. Region 1 wanted to protect the 10-game schedule, make sure everybody got to play the 10 games that were on the schedule, make sure you settled it on the field with your opponents. So they opted to play every game, which meant they had to make up 3 games in a stretch of 2 weeks to keep things on pace for the playoffs. They're playing on Tuesdays, they're playing on Thursdays, they're playing on Saturdays. And these 2 teams, well, it's going to be making sure you can keep fresh legs underneath you right now, because they, again, played Saturday, play Thursday, will turn around and play Tuesday before playing next weekend.
Yeah, that's why a lot of people wonder, why are you playing on Thursday? And the way it worked out in this particular region, they want to get them all in. We know it's a little bit different in Region 2. We'll get into that a little bit later on. But That way you had to play on a Saturday, you had to turn right back on a Thursday, and you could play on a Tuesday as you mentioned, and then all of a sudden one more Saturday. So a lot of games in a minimal amount of time.
Coaches in their specific regions were able to vote as to how they wanted to handle the remainder of the schedule. Now, you may know South Carolina has bumped everything, including the state championship, back a week. But how you wanted to handle the extra week and get the potential 2-3 games you might have missed in, depending upon the different regions of the different schools, left up to those regions. You said it as we get another flag here. Region 2 decided to go ahead and let one of those weeks go. And they're just making up the 1 week where the games were canceled on the Friday that the weather came through. In Region 1, they said, nope, want to play them all. And in order to do so, they've had to accelerate the schedule by making sure they play multiple games in a given week. So these Region 1 teams, they are going to be tested by the nature of the consistent play across the next couple of weeks. And then we'll have a couple of weeks of what would be normal football activity to catch their breath before the playoffs. So it's going to be something to behold, watching these teams make sure they get the full of the schedule in. JL Mann's defense winning the moment thus far. They will force a 4th down from behind the sticks as what looked to be a promising drive for TL Hanna is turned aside.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, this is a very good JL Mann defensive team. They shut out a really good Hillcrest team that was ranked in the top 10 in 4A and top 18 in the state of South Carolina, 31-0 last time out. And you know, they gave up 42 against Gaffney and then 29 in the other 4 games. That's pretty good.
In an overtime thriller against the Indians. And you think about that score against Hillcrest, not so much the win that catches your attention. This is a capable JL Mann team, but the separation they created in that game certainly was a statement maker. Well, the penalty, it is one of the reasons why it is difficult for Hanna to keep the drive alive. And you think, man, is excited about the way that first chance defensively went, and now hand things over to the offensive unit led by McLeod Darnell, who leads them out at the 45-yard line where the Patriots will take over. Again, this was a team right on the verge of playing for a state championship a year ago, and what a turnaround it has been in recent history at JL Mann. This is dumped underneath to Henderson. Kayshawn Henderson makes some room up near the marker. And our official is down, so we are going to have a stoppage here as the athletic training staff is going to have to head out. So many bodies colliding in the trenches there as the offensive and defensive linemen were struggling for supremacy, and it looked like we lost one of our officials there for the moment. Well, credit the training staff right there on the scene. That's the last thing you want to see early on. We'll break away, come back with what we hope is a positive update on our officiating crew right after this. Well, everybody on the officiating crew up and at 'em, which is a good sign. It always is a scary moment when the guys who don't have the benefits of the helmet and the pads go down, but it looks like everybody's going to be able to continue, which is very welcome news. Second down coming, second down and short after the first down gain of Henderson. It's going to stay in the interior. And TL Hanna's front line is able to snuff it out after minimal gain. Going to be third and short coming. Let's look at the contributors on the offensive side of the ball for JL Mann.
Tell you what, they're good, averaging 44 points per game with Denny Martin. Transfer from Greer gets the start, but also O.J. Jones and Esias Morrison are back there as well. Keyshawn Henderson has already been involved with the left tackle to lead it up front to Jordan Sullivan.
Well, and while you were walking through that, it got a little intense up on the line. Rushing toward the line to try to handle business in the short yardage situation was the QB, only to find TL Hanna took the cue, and the front line pushed on through on this third down play. Now, it looks like that's clearly going to be on the defense. It will. They walk it off, and so both teams beneficiaries of defensive penalties that secured their initial first downs of the ball game. After that, a costly penalty against Hanna snuffed out their drive. Let's see if Mann can turn this into something more positive. Patriots with it at the 41, and before the new first down and the new set of downs begins. Timeout's going to be called for. A brief pause, I should say, is going to be assessed as they get new personnel into the contest. Now we're ready for football. First and 10, JL Mann. Initial drive of the football game for the Patriots, who won the toss and deferred. This looks like a deep shot. It will be. And he's got a man down there, and flags will fly, though it's incomplete to Keyshawn Henderson. He drew enough contact that it looks like it's going to be another positive result on the flag for Mann.
You got to watch that young man. 1,000 yards last year with 12 touchdowns. An offensive team a year ago that was just really, really good for this JL Mann team. One more look at it there. Tried to go deep and just didn't get turned around in time. And it's a pretty easy call there. It's been kind of a tough start from a penalty standpoint. You figured last Saturday might be the one that you'd have some issues with, trying to get into the flow of things after you're off for a couple of weeks, and kind of a rocky start here for both teams.
Well, it's a first down play from the 26. And they're going to keep it on the ground. Just a handful right over the left side. Gives a chance to set the defensive alignment for TL Hanna for you. Here's how the Jackets line up, brought to you by Bojangles.
Yeah, you got a couple of senior DNs, Jaden Martin and Noah Miller, linebacker. Mesa Harkness, good guy there to solidify that. And then get into the secondary. The left corner is Cam Strong, who's a NC State committed this morning.
He'll be headed across the state line to North Carolina. Play for the Wolfpack, you said it. Bright future for that young man. Here's the second down play. Coming across the middle and trying to target Henderson once again, but that is incomplete. So it will be third down and about 7. Well, trying every way possible to get Keyshawn Henderson in the mix, and why not, Tom? He is quite a contributor for this Mann squad.
Yeah, he is. We talked about what he did last year, the 1,000 yards and 12 touchdowns, 15 for 316, 3 touchdowns, 21 yards per catch. And against Gaffney, 99 yards receiving, a touchdown, and that great 42-40 overtime loss.
Oh, what a thriller that was. The only setback this year for JL Mann. Third long. Flushed out. And finally tucking it to the 17. That's going to be fairly close to first down yardage. Looks like he's going to be about a yard shy where they spot this. So a fourth down coming for JL Mann on the initial drive of the contest for the Patriots. Completely different scenario for this Yellow Jackets defense in an effort to make its first contribution. They're going to have to stop a 4th and 1. McLeod Darnell and company ready, standing right atop that palmetto tree. He's going to give off on what will be a touchdown run to put JL Mann on the board, as Nasias Morrison will carry it home for a 6-0 advantage. It is a 4th down conversion, yes, more than that. It's the first points of the football game, as 6 gives the Patriots 6, the road team out front first.
They forced that punch, got the 45-yard line, and able to take advantage of the pass interference, set it up, and a nice job to get it down to a situation where you were short and able to get it up into the secondary and take the distance. And that's a young man we talked about. who has been able to have success over the last couple of years.
JL Mann taking advantage of their First Bank Red Zone chance. First Bank, 23 locations across Western North Carolina and the upstate of South Carolina to serve you. Didn't set up shop long in the First Bank Red Zone. That's because they made it count with the Nasias Morrison TD. The extra point follows true, and a 7-0 advantage welcomes football back in the Carolinas on Bojangles Friday Night Rivals this October Thursday. Well, it's time to glance at some of our fans of the game. Of course, our fans of the game always worth highlighting, and nice to see so many fans able to come out and celebrate this Thursday night contest as we give you a glance at our Stewart fans of the game. And Tom, we want to say to all of our fans, thank you for joining us on this night. As we talked about in the open, you know, we'll talk about football challenges across the course of this broadcast. They pale in comparison to the challenges that those in our viewing audience and those in our communities around this area have battled through. But you know, we're hearing from fans throughout the course of the night and throughout the course of the week that as sport has been over the years, football can be a rallying cry for those in the community, and we're glad certainly to have the opportunity to bring it back to you tonight. Here's a return for TL Hanna, trailing by an early touchdown from JL Mann. May not be trailing long. Loose is Hatton, and he is on the move inside the 30 all the way to the 25-yard line, and you can hear this community rallying behind their Jackets as that is an immediate response for TL Hanna.
Boy, nice return. You saw the first one only up to about the 15-yard line. This one waits for it, makes that nice cut. Good job, does hold and has that juke step inside, little fake there, and good job by the kicker to run him down there at the end and knock him out of bounds. Great return.
First down set up at the 25-yard line for TL Hanna. Patterson called on, and he'll be stacked up right away. So it's going to be second down and 10. Yeah, Tom, we're talking about the fans and what a joy it is to have them back with us on our air tonight here on Bojangles Friday Night Rivals Thursday night edition. We also heard from our broadcast partner, our colleague, and our friend Kenny Ford, who said he's watching in Western North Carolina on an HD antenna. Said he gets about 8 channels, but one of them is this one. And we're certainly glad to have Kenny with us and all those that he represents, all those in Western North Carolina. Our hearts are with you. Our thoughts are with you. Our love is extended to you. For everybody on the crew, everybody at the station, those of you who can get us and who can hear us tonight, we are with you, and we love you, and we thank you for tuning in. And those fans, as a reminder, when we see the fans of the game a moment ago, are truly what nights like tonight are all about. Third down coming for TL Hanna. Boy, this is a huge down early in the game, it seems.
It is, and tackle Wyatt Ward, their all-state linebacker, made that tackle to keep it right where it was to provide this particular third down.
Inside 5 minutes to go in the opening period. That's what Hanna will do to you, right? With this option offense, the time passes quickly, and a head of steam for the back, and the pile keeps pushing as they keep fighting inside the 10 and all the way to the 6-yard line. How about this? The credit on the stat sheet is going to go to the ball carrier, but it was everybody, all hands on deck, involved in making sure they moved the pile forward for the 1st and goal.
Well, that's the personification of the tush push right there on the Eagles. A little more than 1 yard, though, right? But nearing in what could be a touchdown.
Well, they, again, got right in behind the back and kept on driving until it set up a 1st down and goal. So a red zone opportunity, a First Bank red zone opportunity, the initial one for TL Hanna. And they'll be inching a little closer, as you heard the call from our official, as personnel changes come with 4:21 to play in the opening period. A 1st and goal from the 3. Right up the middle. Same song, 2nd verse, without the push this time around. And Williams gets down around the 1 yard line as TL Hanna looks to answer the early JL Mann touchdown. Dalen Williams, the 6', 220-pound senior, getting his name called a couple of times here, as 28 has been the feature back on this drive.
Yeah, I was going to say 175 for Patterson, then you put Williams in there and you called it right there at 220, a little bit bigger back.
Patterson and Williams, quite the combo on this first consequential drive for TL Hanna. It will end in a touchdown, and it is another dose of Williams into the end zone with 3:28 to play, and that'll set the light show ablaze here in the electric city of Anderson, South Carolina, as the extra point would tie it up for the homestanding Jackets.
Great to see the lights on. It's power.
No doubt about it. It's something to be celebrated, among other things. And here in the land known for, as we've documented many times, radio and any celebration around the success of the Jackets, it is the way they celebrate the touchdowns here in the electric city, as Anderson has been known for generations. Got to get a flag before the kick. This is against the defense. And you know how it is. Your kicker's so used to where he handles these extra points from that so often you see it simply declined. It will be to keep the familiar refrain in effect for the TL Hanna kicker. And a right foot into it that finds the space in between the posts to even things up at 7 apiece. Well, a 1 yard touchdown run from Williams caps the first effective drive as the Jackets tie it up. Stop by Ingles. Don't let game night dinner get you stressed. Stop by Ingles. Great choices from the Ingles Deli include rotisserie chicken, fresh made. Don't let game night dinner get you stressed. Stop by Ingles. Great choices from the Ingles Deli include rotisserie chicken, fresh made salads, a delicious hot bar, and sub bar. It's dinner and a snap, then off to the game. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings. Well, it is another one of those beautiful nights in the Carolinas, and quite a football game to match it thus far. JL Mann's air raid offense with one score on the board, and a Hanna Jackets team that likes to get the job done on the ground, answering with an extended drive of their own, 7 apiece with 3.5 to go. That's the thing about Hanna, Tom. They'll take some time off the clock with that triple option approach and limit the number of touches, and that's one of the main formulas for success tonight for TL Hanna.
Yeah, and Antonio Hatton set it up with a 73-yard return with 25-yard line, 2.5-minute drive for the touchdown.
Hatton's return, you said it, the catalyst for the rest of the work that was done on the ground by Hanna. Here's a return for Mann up to the 15-yard line is all. Flag comes in here, so this may be better field position than it looked like it was going to be, as that may be a face mask penalty. We'll see if they walk off more on the backside of the return. While they sort this out, Tom, what'd you think of Darnell and company on the opening drive for JL Mann?
Well, they're a team that's going to be able to score a lot of points. We talked about averaging 44 points this year, and I think they're very balanced. They're 179 rush, 194 pass, and they can do it in a different number of ways. So it's going to be a challenge tonight for this TL Hanna defense. And it's an interesting TL Hanna team from the standpoint that they scored 145. They've given up 147. Yes. So it's been kind of in that range there. But, you know, I think the way Mann can score, great kickoff return. That was a big opportunity there for Hanna to get the ball game time and not try to fall too far behind, because they're the type of team you can have big plays, but if you get behind, it's kind of difficult sometimes to catch up.
Major answer. This is a Hanna team that wants to somehow find a lead and then stay out in front of you by taking care of business with that clock. You're correct. After the positive yardage was tacked on to the end of the return on the face mask penalty, JL Mann walking backwards inside their own 30, and it looks like the drive will begin 1st and 15. Now Mann will also utilize the run game, and here's Martin. Damian Martin back beyond what was the original line of scrimmage. He picks up about 6. It'll make it 2nd down and 9. First quarter, JL Mann, the visitors, trying to beat Hanna for the first time in a while, right, Tom?
It's been 6 years and an average of 36 in that time frame, so they'd love to get it here tonight.
They won the toss deferred. They scored first, but now Hanna has equalized, and the quarterback will find nothing available and have to just kind of tuck it and slide forward. McLeod Darnell getting about 3 more, and it's 3rd down and a long 5, maybe 6, they'll call it.
I'll tell you what, that looked like a little synchronized tackling there, and you know they did a good job. He slides and they went over the top and both rolled and didn't make contact.
Here is Hanna's chance to answer the bell defensively, and in the case of games here in Anderson County, it's the cowbell they're answering. We can hear them right below the press box area. You may on the broadcast also. Just makes it a high school football night, whether it's a Thursday or a Friday. Here's the 3rd down play. Under pressure again. Tries to step left, and Hanna will cover it up. How about that TL Hanna defense? Here comes 4th down, and Mann, you would think, is going to have to kick it away inside the final 2 minutes of the quarter.
And Jason Olkey there, the pressure by the nose tackle, John Michael Tripp, 6'2", 235 junior. He wanted to throw and set up, and you'll get one more look at it here. He beats his man, and he can't even have an opportunity. Had a man open there, but the pressure up front caused that. Nicely done defensively.
Punter standing back at his 20-yard line. Handles a little bit of difficulty on the snap, and this is straight up the chute, and will hit on about the 48. Going to be killed on the 49-yard line, just on the Hanna side of the field. It'll be good field position for the Jackets after the punt. You know, Tom, we talked a lot about, you know, the lights are on and they're bright, and this is a big region game and Region 1 5A and all the things that make for a wonderful evening when you talk about football being back. You know, the other thing that makes this feel like a Friday night, it's in the 50s.
Oh, yeah.
This is the first game we've had on the broadcast schedule this year where there is that chill in the air and the sleeves are necessary, starting to feel like October football.
Tough guys we are. We actually have the window open, though. Hey,
I'll get a little credit for that, right? But you see the players in sleeves. You see so many of the referees utilizing those stay warm opportunities for the first time. It feels like a football Friday night, even if it is a Thursday evening. Here's a Hanna drive starting just on the Hanna side of the 50. That will be set up as a 2nd down and 7 from the 47-yard line of JL Mann.
Tell you how big have special teams been, the outstanding return, and then the short punt there provided the opportunity for this Hanna team. Why did midfield to begin this drive?
Well, Hanna operating in the final minute of the first quarter and operating nicely with the space being made by that offensive line. That's going to create space for Trayvon Johnson, who is the ball carrier. But, boy, you got to give all kind of love to Levi Gainey and Nate Malcolm, J. Michael Jones, Malachi Miles, and Latham Metz. That group up front, those linemen trying to come together and come into their own for this young team. Making some nice holes there. Patterson was in motion. Now he'll restation himself just off the near side. And they'll keep this in the interior. How about the pile moving again? That's a 1st down and a whole lot more down to the 33. It's also going to take us to the end of the first period of action. A competitive first quarter between the Patriots and the Jackets as it's 7 apiece in Region 1 5A. Well, remember, the halftime report brought to you by Spartanburg Community College is coming up at the end of this quarter. Already a few highlights on both sides for that Spartanburg Community College halftime report, Tom, in what has been a highly entertaining first 12 minutes of football.
Yeah, I tell you, and JL Mann gets off that quick start, and nice kickoff return by Hanna. They were able to get the game tied, and their defense did a really good job. Short punt. Now they're on the go. We first saw a moment ago the head coach of JL Mann, and what a great job that Scoot Watson in his 5th year has done, and just a moment ago Jason Tone in his 6th year, and all he has done is go 46-12 and won 10 games 3 consecutive years. Of course, Mann coming off that 11-3 season and best in 40 years 1 year ago.
Well, you talk about Jason Tone. He was here a couple of years as an understudy before he became the head man. And remember, this is a Hanna team that in 18 and in 20 ended up playing for the state championship. You remember some of those great moments, you know, with Radio down in Columbia at Williams-Brice back in that initial run of this era when they found their way into that final day. Of course, yeah, you know who the culprit was on the other side and has been for so many of the upstate teams of late. But TL Hanna showing themselves as the class of the upstate on more than one occasion in recent years with this approach to football. And Jason Tone has been in the midst of it both as an assistant and now as the head man here at Hanna. His quarterback under heavy pressure here as that JL Mann defense is featured. What a look up front as Zanias Rosemond gets in there and is able to provide complete disruption.
Yeah, you don't throw the ball very much, and of course it's, you know, off play action, and a good job there, outstanding to make that play and pull him to the turf there. And there's going to be a point, we saw it a moment ago, they've been getting all kinds of yardage up inside. I think at some point he's going to pull it and step outside. We'll see.
Kevin Megan, the 5'10", 175-pound junior, engineering things in this one tonight. And timeout going to be called for by Jason Tone and company with 10:33 to play and a 3rd down and forever coming up. This is going to require the 23-yard line to be reached by a Hanna team that'll snap it at the 42. So important play as Hanna has a chance to push out front here, Tom, but they're going to need a major response here on third down.
And they're not a team that really built for third down and long. And the passes they do complete on a per catch basis very good, because you've got to jam it up on the line of scrimmage. You have an opportunity to hit a big pass play every now and then. But when you're faced with 3rd and 21, a little bit different situation here. And we talked about JL Mann and the non-conference schedule, but you also look at Hanna. They lost to Westside 46-20. They beat Burns 19-16. They won at a really good Wren team 36-29, and lost to Greenwood 25-21 before the win over Woodmont. So strong there.
See what they do out of the timeout here. 3rd down, spinning forward to around the 36. That's not going to be near the yardage needed. 4th down and about 13 coming as they hand the football to Williams, who had the touchdown earlier. And it's time to send the punting unit out, as Jacob Tavarik out to take care of business for TL Hanna. The return men standing back around the 10-yard line. Of course, Hanna, we referenced it, 18-20 or 74 before that. The tremendous success in the history of this Region 1 5A foe. But they're giving the football back to their region foe, Mann, on the other side of this break, as the punt is down inside the 5. Bojangles is a proud sponsor of WLOS. Bojangles is a proud sponsor of WLOS. Friday night football. It's not just football season, it's tailgate season. Head to Bojangles. Order your tailgate box today. It's not a tailgate without Bojangles, proud sponsors of WLOS Friday night football. It's bow time. Patriots are here. JL Mann about to get the football back. There will be no movement on where you saw it at the 4-yard line. That's because the flag that came out at the end of that sequence was for running into the kicker, and TL Hanna, knowing that wasn't going to be enough to move the chains, opting to decline it. Why not when you've pinned your opponent back in the shadow of their own goal line? So JL Mann takes over. Patriots with the touchdown from Morrison, and started all the scoring, a 17-yard touchdown run a quarter ago, followed up by a 1-yard touchdown run from TL Hanna's Williams. And we still sit at 7-7. 2nd down coming. Boy, dangerous territory for JL Mann here, particularly when you consider the way the Hanna defense has played thus far. Flag comes down ahead of the 2nd down play.
That's pretty good. Pretty good effort by JL Mann's defense, though. Jason had the ball in midfield and had a 25 prior to that after kickoff return to get their touchdown. And even and if you're if you're TL Hanna, you're all right. You didn't get what you wanted out of that, but you got to make them go the distance.
Initial chance in the 2nd period for JL Mann, and pushing it all the way out to around the 19-yard line. Looks like that's going to be enough for a 1st down with Martin handling it, and they will move the chains. 7-7 our score. Both teams getting a touchdown up on the scoreboard in the opening period. Now closing in on 9 minutes remaining in the 2nd. Darnell going to hand it off, and that's going to be about a 5-yard gain as they go back to Martin one more time. LaDainian Martin, he's been the individual of choice on the first couple touches of this drive.
You know, when you think about O.J. Jones and Sias Morrison, a couple of guys coming back from last year that had a great year combined between those two.
It's as difficult, going to be swallowed up, and the ball is still loose. Hanna's going to fall on it for a touchdown. Let the light show begin as TL Hanna is able to fall on it in the end zone for a first lead tonight, and a picture is worth 1,000 words. As you can see the reaction from Ben and its coaching staff. Coach Watson beside himself. Hartness able to cover up the football and put TL Hanna out front 13-7. with the extra point pending. Well, we said an opportunity for this TL Hanna defense with the way they played. They take advantage of the difficult snap. And when Darnell couldn't gather it up cleanly, in an effort to corral it, ball stays loose. Hanna falls on it in the end zone, and the home team has something further to celebrate. Take a look at Jamazier Hartness as he works his way through and falls on the football to put the Jackets out front. Perfect timing for the Nth Degree Orthodontics Smile Cam, because they are all smiles on the home side, thanks to Hartness and Company defensively taking advantage of the JL Mann miscue. As you get a look at some of our youngest fans, perhaps future Gamecocks, a lot of Tigers in this area as well. Certainly future Jackets and Patriots, one would think, as they smile for us on the Nth Degree Orthodontics Smile Cam. You know, Tom, Hartness, right place, right time as he pursued the football, and once 6 fell on it, his team up by 7.
Yeah, playing hard there, high snap, and, you know, doing the right thing. Darnell trying to get on the football. It just kind of bounced out of there. You never know, the oblong ball, and it was kicked into the end zone. He was able to recover it for a touchdown. Goes back to the punt that started back on the 4-yard line, and able to take advantage of that, gets a touchdown.
Here's a return man, plenty of room out to the 25 or so, it would seem. Actually going to be drugged down around the 22 or 23-yard line, as a good open field recovery was there on Martin's return. And you see the celebration between Johnson and Williams, who come off after making sure his return was limited. This is where TL Hanna hoped to play from tonight. They like to get out front and then shorten things, and the defense would have to give them the ball back with a chance to do so, as JL Mann looks to shake off what is the first turnover of the football game. And they'll do so, just kind of shuffling one into the hands of Dre Huff. Nothing there, as Hanna playing with a little more energy all of a sudden.
Yeah, really good job there. Force it back inside and trailing backside the defensive end. Jaden Martin at 6'1", 245, and the senior making that tackle. Ooh.
Well, that's a little early. Going to be offsides against Hanna. The encroachment penalty moving man forward a little bit. You know, you documented it. This is a Hanna team that's had its way with JL Mann. And so understanding what it has taken to win in this rivalry, though Mann has been on fire across the last year or so plus. Here's Hanna again in a familiar spot out front of the Patriots.
It's going to be interesting to see how they respond.
Yeah, this is the drive in which they have to do it. And there's wide open real estate at around the 50-yard line, but it's in between two potential targets. He was a little too strong for Wilkins and a bit short of the location of the other receiver out there in Holmes. Going to bring up 3rd down and 7.
We talked about JL Mann and how good they have been offensively, averaging 44 per game, and kind of that 31-0 shutout of a really good top 10 Hillcrest team.
Yeah, that grabs your attention as much as what Hanna's doing tonight would grab headlines. 3rd down play. Nowhere for Darnell to go with it through the air, and he'll be swallowed up before he can do anything on the ground. It's going to be 4th down, forced by what has been a pesky and smothering Yellow Jackets front defensive look.
I tell you, Drake Vance, strong safety at 5'11", 190 senior. Nothing downfield. Give the guys in the secondary. There wasn't an opportunity to throw the football for Darnell, and he's being chased there and eventually going to be run down.
And here again is the formula for TL Hanna. Get out front, get the football back, see if that offensive approach can shorten the contest. Everything going according to script on this Thursday night in Anderson County thus far. Return man's going to be at the 45, so this should be outstanding field position for TL Hanna to work with. 6:40 to go. Ahead of the Spartanburg Community College halftime report. And much to report from TL Hanna thus far in favor of the Jackets. Booming kick. Going to be fair caught just on the TL Hanna side of the 50. Jackets will have the football at midfield to take for a spin, with a 7-point lead already in effect when you return to Anderson County. Carolina Furniture Concepts is a Carolina Furniture Concepts is a presenting sponsor of Friday Night Rivals. Carolina Furniture Concepts, over $5 million of furniture in stock, ready to deliver to you. Visit their Arden and Waynesville showrooms today or go online at carolinafurnitureconcepts.com. Our initial journey through Region 1 5A here in 2024 in the state of South Carolina. These two region foes entertaining us to the tune of a 1-score contest. TL Hanna up that score and with the football as its triple option offense goes to work. It's going to be Patterson with the ball, and he continues to find space out across the 50 into man territory and down to the 45-yard line. You know, KD Patterson is the all-state back, Tom. A lot of headlines for Dalen Williams so far, the senior wearing jersey number 28, as he did the heavy lifting following the kickoff return that ended up in a touchdown earlier. But Patterson reminding you, too, that he can provide some sparks. Williams back in there in the backfield as we speak. And handling things at the quarterback position thus far, Gavin Megan tonight for TL Hanna. You have to say, doing so very well. He runs into some trouble here, and before he can hand it off, he is handled by a different Williams. Kamari Williams on the man side of things, able to make the stop. Like he had some help there from Duke Thomas, as is usually the case, applying some pressure also.
Yeah, got up inside, and probably fortunate, you know, as you start all the mechanisms there to fake it one way, go another way. Probably fortunate you didn't lose the football there, but just a great get off there by Thomas to make a nice play.
Thomas, as we said, Williams was there for a little help. Both those on the scene with the white jerseys of JL Mann. Sets up a third down now. Moving through traffic is Hanna's Williams, and he's inside the 35. You can move the chains. What a night already for Dalen Williams, the fullback for TL Hanna.
I tell you, just up inside. I mean, nothing fancy on that. Michael Jones, the center, leading the way, and like Miles and Malcolm, the interior there with the guards, and nothing fancy there. Just smash it up inside. And with the free safety, Riggs Manning's making the tackle. The junior, you know, it's a pretty good play to get into the secondary.
You never know what you're going to see on all these contests stacked up right against one another on the schedule right now in Region 1. And Hanna trying to create as much surprising separation, perhaps, as they go back to Patterson one more time, as we saw in that final score you talked about between Hillcrest and JL Mann. It's an impressive performance tonight for TL Hanna thus far. There's a flag that comes in on the Patterson carry. Stops the clock with 4:32 to play as our officials sort this out.
Helmet came off there. Let's see what transpired.
You always have to ask the question, did it have some help? And the answer is yes. A face mask. Assess JL Mann, and that will march Hanna even deeper into Patriots territory.
You know, Jason, we're also talking about JL Mann against Hillcrest, but with Hanna, they were able to come out after that long layoff, and they scored the most points they have this year. Now, they did it on the road at Woodmont, 49-21. They lost a tough one to a very good Greenwood team, 25-21. Scored 36 to win at Wren. Beat by Westside 56-20 and had that 19-16 win over Burns in game 1. Burns, by the way, if you don't know and follow the Upstate, every one of their games on the road this year because they are reconfiguring and doing some things at Nixon.
And every one of them been pretty tight. In fact, we'll see that Burns team next week at Spartan High in Spartanburg County. Near side, weaving through traffic inside the 5 and all the way down near the goal line. He'll get a little help to his feet by Patterson, and Johnson, who ends up being the ball carrier this time around, with KD Patterson, with Dalen Williams, have made quite a trio. Here was the sophomore Johnson taking care of business to set the stage. And that means 1st and goal for a TL Hanna team, having pushed the clock down inside of 4 minutes and looking for a 2-score advantage.
Couldn't script it any better right now for TL Hanna.
It's going exactly as Jason Tone had hoped. His staff making the critical calls on a 1st and goal scenario, just a little bit on the keeper. That's going to keep that clock rolling and set up a 2nd down and goal.
Now, one thing about it, out of this particular offensive set, is jammed up inside, but once you get closer to the goal line, and he tried the quarterback sneak there, didn't get a whole lot up inside, but you got to be really disciplined on defense.
Hanna Jackets knocking on the door with the lead already established. Well, he gave that off to KD Patterson. Not sure too many realized it, as he is untouched into the end zone. And the All-State performer a season ago in his senior campaign has set the Hanna high water mark for a lead in the first half of this one. It's now 20-7 on the strength of KD Patterson's legs.
An impressive performance so far by TL Hanna to take that lead with 3 minutes to go here in the 2nd quarter. Put together a nice drive there and 51 yards. Able to get the touchdown.
1-yard touchdown run for Williams. Just a few yards on this touchdown run. 3-yard run for Patterson. And with 3 minutes even to go in the half, those 2 offensive scores and the defensive fumble recovery have Hanna out front. Mann will turn aside this extra point try, though, so it'll sit at 20 28-7. The Jackets celebrate an effective drive here and will carry a 2-score lead forward with 3 to play in the second. JL Mann struck first, but 20 unanswered points from the homestanding Jackets of TL Hanna have given them something to celebrate on the home side, and they carry a 13-point lead forward with 3 minutes to play. The extra point, no good, but Tom, been a little bit of everything. You had the Williams run, we just saw the Patterson run, and sandwiched in between those 2 short touchdown runs, you had the long return, which set up the Williams TD, and you had the fumble recovery in the end zone by Harkness defensively, which was also a touchdown. Now, this is going to go off the face mask of the man return guy, and it's finally going to see the pile stack up at around the 19-yard line. But you think about all those different contributions. It's been a complete effort for Hanna so far.
Yeah, done it a number of different ways, and defensively they've been pretty good too. When you start taking a look at JL Mann's first possession, they were able to go 55 yards, 216, and got 17-yard run by Isaiah Morris. And the next punt, fumble recovery in the end zone for a touchdown and punt. So the defense able to put 20 on the board. Special teams play has been important. That field position as well. So this is, I think, with 3 minutes, 2:52 to go, this is an important drive for JL Mann here late in the first half.
Type of reaction, because you got to remember, JL Mann gets the football back in the third, so they could set a little momentum in motion that they could immediately carry forward in the second half. And this is a good start that direction, as LaDainian Martin is going to carry this up to the 34-yard line.
Jason, you take a look at that with Martin. He averages 7.1 per carry. As a team, they come in at 6.6 per carry. So really good job defensively to slow that down so far here tonight.
Martin again, rushing far side. You can see the fine filled turf and the traction he's able to get, but the defense has it as well. As Trip Bryant trots toward the far side, and the return of McLeod Darnell comes. Trip Bryant seeing some action there at the quarterback position for JL Mann. So we've seen a couple of different looks from that angle, and this is going to be swatted down and away. How about the pursuit from Walker Kelly, who gets in there and disrupts immediately.
You know, made the play before, and then he comes back and gets airborne here. We'll get it. It comes off the backside there, reads it, leaping, hand on it.
He's got the bright green gloves going on.
Yes, we can see that.
And you can see the good work done by Kelly as he forces a third down from behind the sticks. More pursuit, and the quarterback's going to go down one more time. Backside chase and plenty of celebration from the Hanna defense. Oliver working his way to the QB. And that'll bring up 4th down and long.
Yeah, 5'11", 220 junior coming off that backside. And tell you what, he has been under pressure, Darnell, all night long trying to throw that football. And they've been very successful throwing the football this year.
Jamarion Oliver, after Kelly swatted it away, and Mann forced to kick it away. one more time with 1:19 to play. This will take a Patriots roll inside the 40. It'll be Hanna football at the 38-yard line. Hanna up a couple of scores and ready to start what would be the closing drive of the second quarter. Who would have scripted it this way, Tom?
I'll tell you, it's been an impressive performance by TL Hanna. And both these teams had played on Saturday and played well. And, you know, it's a big game in this region with Mann coming off their great season a year ago. And of course, TL Hanna we talked about with the 10 wins the last 3 years. The nemesis has been that second round of the playoffs, but it's been a nice performance so far in the first half with the Yellow Jackets.
Well, and if you're going to play 4 games in 14 days, you can certainly roll momentum from one to the next with the kind of performance they're putting together here tonight. There's that rushing attack with Patterson again. He's out across the 40 to the 41. He had the most recent touchdown run. KD Patterson, the All-State back, with a 2-yard touchdown run, in addition to Williams' 1-yard touchdown run and the Harkness fumble recovery. The 3 scores that Hanna has put on the board if you're finding us toward the end of this first half. Just seconds remaining now in the opening half of action. Home team in control. Hanna team looking to make it 7 in a row against Mann. The ball was on the turf, but it's almost basketball season. That was dribbled right back up into the grasp
At the
of the back.
country club hop there. I was going to say the one thing you don't want to do if you're Hanna, obviously, is turn the ball over, but if you're trying to force the situation downfield and so forth, you've got the lead right now. Take one more look at it. Whoa.
When everything goes your way, this kind of stuff happens. Bounces right back up into Patterson's grasp, and it's 3rd down instead of a disastrous moment inside the final half minute of the second quarter. Hanna taking the clock all the way on down. And that will be the final play of the first half of action. What a first half it is for a TL Hanna squad that scores the final 20 points of this first half of action after trailing JL Mann 7-0 early. Going to be interesting to see what the head man has to say about the tone his team, Jason Tone's team, set for this contest with the way they played in all 3 facets, Tom.
Yeah, right on the tee there for you. Nicely done.
Think about the special teams contribution,
yes,
the defensive touchdown, and 2 different backs getting the job done for his squad thus far. He and his staff have to be very pleased with what has happened thus far. Let's check in with Nelson and get the direct thoughts of the head man for Hanna.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Jason. This is the Coach's Corner, brought to you by Carolina Furniture Concepts. Well, Coach, as the score indicates, you guys are firmly in control of this game. Solid performances on both sides of the ball. What were your thoughts on the first half of the game, Coach?
I thought our kids were playing with great effort. I'm extremely proud of them right now, but we got a whole other half to go. That's a really good football team over there. It's going to take more than 20 points to win.
So it does beg the critical question. What can you expect from your team in the second half of the game, Coach?
I hope and pray that they give the great effort just like they did before. Again, time will tell, but we're going to go in there and celebrate the first half, make sure that we make critical adjustments, and get ready to rock and roll.
Understood, Coach. Glad to hear your voice in the second half.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Back to you, Tom. Back to you, Jason.
Well, you heard him say it. Go Jackets. He has to love the way the Jackets have gone thus far. That's how it started, with the Patriots out front, but a little bit of trouble, giving the Hanna defense a window, and the rushing game of TL Hanna building a 20-7 lead at the intermission.
Welcome to Friday Night Rivals here on the Asheville Chevrolet Halftime Show. Throughout the course of this F&R season, we will feature an array of RB Scholar Athlete winners on this show. These RB Scholar Athlete winners are eligible to receive a $5,000 scholarship. The RB Scholar Athlete winner from JL Mann High School is Lily Billiger. In the field of academics, Lily has earned the AP Scholar with Distinction Award for earning an average score of 4.2 on all of her AP exams. Last year, she was a junior marshal for being top 12 in her class. She is currently sitting on a sky-high 5.519 GPA. At JL Mann High, Lily is a member of the Beta Club, the Red Cross Club. She's secretary of the National Honor Society, and she is also the president of the Anchor Club, which is a group volunteer club dedicated to improving our community. As the proud president of the Anchor Club, she plans their monthly volunteer opportunities. Lily has also been recognized as the ultimate outsider, which means that she has visited and hiked all of South Carolina's 48 state parks, some of which are in remote locations. In the world of sports, Lily has been playing volleyball for 8 years and has been on the varsity team since her freshman year. She was an all-region player her freshman year, and she was one of the Greenville News' top Greenville County volleyball players in 2022. Furthermore, she made the all-tournament team at the Daniel High School preseason tournament earlier this year. For club volleyball, Lily made the JVA watch list in both 2022 and 2023. Lily has also been a participant in her neighborhood swim team, RMEA, for the past 12 years. In the community, Lily volunteers at a variety of places, including the Kroc Center to help teach kids volleyball, at Boo in the Zoo, and she assists with blood drives. Lily has successfully completed approximately 100 volunteer hours throughout her time in high school. Some of her favorite volunteer activities have been on short film sets, including being a production assistant and a sound mixer. One of Lily's favorite hobbies is reading, and to date, she has read over 100 books. Once again, Lily Billiger is our RB Scholar Athlete winner from JL Mann High School. Congratulations, Lily. RBs, we have the meats. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to Friday Night Rivals here on the Spartanburg Community College Halftime Show. Well, folks, as you can hear and see right behind me here, there are an array of fantastic young musicians behind me. And that is the TL Hanna Marching Band. Earlier this afternoon, folks, I had the privilege of sitting down with in this case, the head marching band, the director of the marching band here, Mr. Andrew Gregory. Here's a snippet of what we talked about. Mr. Gregory, welcome to the show today, sir.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Of course. Now, I have to ask you, what's it like being the band director here at TL Hanna High?
Sometimes it feels like I'm kind of herding cats with so many kids, and so many moving parts of the program, but it's honestly one of the most rewarding careers I could ask for, just getting to teach and instruct and work with kids and really try to strengthen up that musical quality.
That sounds remarkable. Now, I have to ask you as well, how much is that band going to be rocking here this evening?
Oh, we're going to be bringing it loud and proud. This will be the first time, actually, we've gotten to do the full show for the community just because of the hurricane and everything else, so we're really excited to do that.
That sounds fantastic. Now, I'm sure you are a musician yourself. What did you play?
I played French horn as my primary instrument, but really all the brass instruments are kind of my specialty. But way back in middle school, I started on alto sax.
All right, that's what I'm talking about indeed. Let me hear it one good time. Go Yellow Jackets.
Go Yellow Jackets.
Go Yellow Jackets indeed. Well, once again, Mr. Gregory, I want to thank you for taking the time to speak with us here today.
Of course. Thank you so much.
All right. We'll be back in just a moment, folks. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to tonight's Friday Night Rivals football game. Joining us today is our good friend all the way from Ingalls Markets, Miss Taylor Newhouse. Taylor, are you loving the game so far?
Absolutely. It's been a fun one to watch.
It has been a fun one to watch. Now, what are you anticipating? An explosive finish, I hope?
We always hope for an explosive finish, but definitely an interesting game.
All right, we got to talk at the end of the game then.
Absolutely.
Now, let's talk about high school athletics in general, because from what I understand, Ingalls Markets, y'all have had a long-standing and robust partnership, not just with our organization, but the entire community as a whole. Let's talk about the dynamics of that partnership.
Absolutely. We kind of gravitate towards athletics because we feel like it's a great way to reach our communities, but we're with these kids all the way from that first day of elementary school all the way through college. So we're really following them, but athletics is a good way to bring it all together because everyone loves a Friday night football game.
They do indeed, including you and I. That's
Absolutely.
Right. So it sounds like you guys really do bridge that link between academics and athletics. Am I correct to assume that?
Yes, definitely. We're there to support children through their entire educational experience.
Speaking of supporting children, y'all have people who come into y'all stores and end up working for y'all, people who you go to church with. I mean, this really is a tight-knit community. Is that right?
Absolutely. Ingalls is a beacon in all of our communities, and we love to get people in and out of the store, especially these kids that are working at our stores, our athletes and students in the schools that we support as well.
That's indeed right. Well, Haley, you know what time it is. It's time to get back to some football.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. We'll see you guys next time on Friday Night Rivals. Welcome back to Friday Night Rivals here on the Asheville Chevrolet Halftime Show. Or excuse me, I'm sorry, we're in South Carolina, the Spartanburg Community College Halftime Show. Well, folks, before the break, as I alluded to, this band behind me under the direction of Mr. Andrew Gregory, they are doing an exceptional job. Let's take a listen in. Okay. Welcome back to Rivals here on the Spartanburg Community College Halftime Show. Well, folks, here on FNR, we rely upon an array of exceptional scholar athletes. In this case, not just scholar athletes, but also people who are kind enough to fund our program. That would be our donors here. In this case, Spartanburg Community College, they are the proud halftime sponsors. Take a look at this interview that we shot with them earlier this evening. Welcome back to Friday Night Rivals here on the Spartanburg Community College Halftime Show. Joining us is the proud president of the aforementioned Spartanburg Community College, Dr. Michael Makota. Dr. Makota, it's good to have you here today.
Thank you so much, and thank you for being here at Spartanburg Community College. I'd like to share with you a little bit about what we're doing for the Proud Chasers.
All right. Now, I want to hear more about that in depth, shall we? Let's talk about what truly separates y'all apart from everyone else out there in regards to academic programs and, of course, community engagement.
Well, you know, on the football field, you have to play like a champion to win. And in the game of life, you have to play like a chaser to win. You know, our students come here hungry, they're nimble, and they work together. And we remove barriers. We remove barriers from a financial standpoint, but we also have 80 programs of study. We're the fastest growing higher education institution in South Carolina in more than 20 years. And we are setting a movement, a momentum to inspire and educate individuals in ways that are different and new.
Let's expand upon that, though. Why do y'all feel a sense of incumbency in preparing the student body for the ever-evolving job market out there?
Well, the job market is constantly changing, but we prepare our students for day one entry into the workplace, whether they transfer to another higher education institution or whether they're going directly into the workforce. We know that our chasers are prepared and ready to take on those jobs now, and we're also growing those programs for jobs in the future.
So, Dr. Makota, at the end of the day, why does Spartanburg Community College ensure accessibility and affordability to all of the student body?
We are the most affordable and most accessible higher education institution in South Carolina. We have our new Live to Chase scholarships for this year, which is no cost tuition for the entirety of 2024, 2025. So you can come to Spartanburg Community College and not be charged hidden fees or other types of things. We actually make sure our students have access and affordability in ways that other colleges do not. But those pathways are successful because it's the highest return on investment for those students.
I'm loving it. Well, Dr. Makota, once again, on behalf of Friday Night Rivals, I want to thank you and the institution for y'all's proud support of high school athletics.
Thank you so much, and go Chasers.
All right, go Chasers indeed. We'll be back in just a moment, folks.
Well, we're in the land of radio. Our old friend who used to roam the sidelines here at Hanna is always in the hearts and minds of Jackets fans. You can almost hear him say, "Go Jackets," as his Hanna team leads it 20-7 at the intermission. Of course, his statue still adorns the entrance here at this fine facility, and he's always, as we said, in the thoughts of those here at Hanna. Well, fans of the Jackets, please. They have controlled the ball, and they've had the explosive plays tonight, Tom.
Well, they have. I tell you what, though, JL Mann has had trouble handling some of the running. TL Hanna, a lot of teams do. They're talked about maintaining the momentum. They're coming off a great year and a great start to this season. Try to keep it going today. And then Hanna's been able to control the ball. They've had great field position on certain occasions, and they have done a really good job against a high-scoring man team to prevent explosive plays. They did a good job in that category.
You know it's just a matter of time before Coach Watson's team gets going. Let's hear his thoughts as part of the coach's interview here at the half.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Jason. This is the Coach's Corner, brought to you by Carolina Furniture Concepts. Well, Coach, what were your thoughts? More important in the locker room.
Keep their composure in this situation.
You and your boys, Coach. Yes. Back to you, Tom. Back to you, Jason.
But what we could gather from that, keep their composure was a big part of that. You know his team is certainly capable of doing so. We also understand the firepower that exists for this air raid offense of the Patriots. It's just a matter of time before you find out what they do with the football first in the second half in a moment. Well, there are the goalposts here at TL Hanna. Reminder of the Eagles field goal challenge. For every field goal across the course of this Friday night rival season, even on a Thursday night, the Eagles field goal challenge means Eagles Markets will donate $100 to the Boys and Girls Club on each made field goal. They wish good luck to all the athletes and teams playing tonight and every night that football games are held across the Carolinas from Eagles Markets, where your savings say something. We're in South Carolina tonight, back in action on Friday Night Rivals. Happy you've chosen to spend a portion of your Thursday night with us. We believe it's a matter of time before we're back in North Carolina as well. You know the resiliency of the folks all across our area. And while the schedule, like everything in the Carolinas in recent days, remains a day-to-day development, we believe the day will come soon. We'll be back in North Carolina with some high school football. And we know where we'll be next week. We'll go to Spartanburg County with Burns and Spartanburg going head-to-head in Region 2 5A. Our Region 1 5A contest sits 20-7 at the break. Boy, you see that yellow jacket and you think about how the defense swarmed in this first half. So far, so good for TL Hanna in this one, Tom.
Yeah, holding a JL Mann team that averages 44 points per game, coming off that 31-0 win over Hillcrest, and a fine performance, and holding them to just 7 points in the first half. Got the first 7, a 55-yard drive in 2:16. Sias Morrison 17 yards, but Dalen Williams on a 2-yard run after a long kickoff return, and then a fumble recovered in the end zone, and another touchdown, 2 yards by Patterson, Katie Patterson. That's where we are, 20-7.
Missed extra point on the backside of all that, the 13 points of separation, as we are ready for the kickoff of the third quarter. JL Mann won the toss deferred so they would have the football in this very situation. Not sure many on that Patriots side, those who made the trip over from JL Mann, thought they would be getting the football down a couple of scores, but here's an immediate chance to answer, Tom.
Well, we talked about there with about, what, 2:52 to go. Mann got the ball back at the 19-yard line. Thought that was a big drive, but they had to punt the football, and here's a big drive to start the third quarter of play here, down 20-7. They had the ball only 4 times first half. Touchdown, a punt, fumble recovery in the end zone by Jamazia Harkness, and then a punt and a punt. So 20-7, you got the 20 points on the board, but it's a penalty here in the defense holding a high-scoring team to just 7. So good performance overall by TL Hanna.
And so many great storylines over the years here at TL Hanna. We talked about radio. We told you the story of Chadwick Boseman when we've been here before, the connections to TL Hanna High, the Electric City highlights, and this defense for Hanna trying to write the latest story. But it'll be Mann's offense in this third quarter, trying to turn the page and flip the script. Martin gets the first touch, and he will have minimal yardage before he is handled by Oliver and company. Here comes 2nd down and 9.
Tell you, those two guys inside, Oliver and Harkness, and tell you, JL Mann has had no success getting the ball to the outer edge tonight. Nice play.
Handoff. Martin again on the give from Trip Bryant, who is getting the nod at the quarterback position here in the early stages of the third quarter. Martin good for more yardage here, but not nearly enough to make a 3rd and short reality. It's going to be 3rd and a long 5 here. They'll call it 3rd down and 6 on the scoreboard. Officials bringing things to a halt before the 3rd down snap. As we shared with you in the first half, our officials tonight, our referee Samuel Miller, our umpire Gaines Massey, our linesman Greg Curitin, our line judge Christopher Smith, our back judge Gary Guffey. The group handling responsibilities in this Region 1 5A clash. And now they blow the ball back in action as 3rd down 6 is on the horizon. You can hear the cowbells calling the defense for Hanna to action. This is going to be handled across the middle, beautifully delivered, and Kayshawn Henderson, who has been a target a number of occasions tonight, has this for a first down and then some, and there may be even more. A flag at the end of the play is dropped on about the 46-yard line, other side of the field, and it looked like there was some extracurricular here, Tom.
Well, I'll tell you, that's the first time we've seen an explosive plays. What our keys would prevent that. They have done that and get that ball to that young man in the open field and see what he can do. And we'll all wait here and see what this penalty was.
Well, it's a first down on the action that took place in game flow by Kayshawn Henderson. And this is going to be an unsportsmanlike penalty against Mann on the backside of that. So the chains moved, but 15 of it is going to be walked off the other direction after the first down. And JL Mann is not dealing with the type of field position they had hoped, as an untimely penalty, discipline-wise, is assessed. Also takes a little bit of that momentum and snatches it right back away despite the first down play. And gives a little bit of it to TL Hanna. Pushing through is Drake Vance, the senior, to disrupt and set up a behind-the-stick 2nd down.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, strong safety's made a couple of really good plays tonight. 5'11", 190, a senior. He came up nowhere to go.
Sean Drake they call him Drake Vance. And the left-handed QB fires one out near side, and that is going to rattle off the body of his intended target, Dre Huff. Incomplete. Boy, a penalty like that, Tom, after such a, as you said, first explosive play we've seen really from Mann tonight, can let the air so immediately out of the balloon.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that's just a tough one there, and had a chance there. You got to catch the ball, and you need to make, as Coach talked, we need to focus here in the second half. And
he spoke of composure, and interestingly enough, ironically enough, that's the one thing that has made headlines on this drive. And stepping out of bounds back near the line of scrimmage. As fourth down is coming is the ball carrier, and with 9:50 to play, a promising start to this third quarter for Mann is going to be turned aside, and it is snuffed out in many ways by a self-inflicted scenario on the unsportsmanlike penalty. That gave Hanna's the defense the opportunity to rise to the occasion. Jackets now looking for their first touch of the third. Return man back at his own 40. This is going to be well short of there, though it will take a Patriots bounce, and a major Patriots bounce inside the 36 to the 35-yard line. And that's where Hanna will take over after the Jackets hold to start the third. Well, a look at the nth degree orthodontics smile cam from TL Hanna High School. Smiling because they're up 20-7 with the football back. As you glance at the nth degree orthodontics smile cam. You know, they've had so much to smile about here at Hanna over the years, Tom. We talk about radio. You talk about the recent success for this team. Obviously, we've mentioned the Chadwick Boseman connection when we've been here. Another reason to smile, the story of Jake Nicolopoulos. Fans will remember perhaps the linebacker for TL Hanna who had signed a scholarship to attend Clemson back in 2010. You may remember that he's similar to another Hanna standout, Ben Boulware, who was a part of those Clemson National Championship runs, was going to head there. But in December of 2009, had a stroke that ended his opportunities to compete at the collegiate level. You remember how emotional that was for the Hanna community. Yet Dabo Swinney and the Tigers honored his scholarship, but he was never able to play again. This fall, this October, Jake was voted to be inducted into the TL Hanna Athletic Hall of Fame. So another smile on the face of so many Jackets fans when they think about what an amazing story and tremendous memory his career, and a fitting next chapter to that career and to that life is, again, he was voted into the TL Hanna Athletic Hall of Fame, and we say congratulations on that award as Hanna celebrates that. So much over the years to smile about here at world famous TL Hanna High School for so much they have done to improve the community here in Anderson County. And right now they've improved the standing and feeling of the home fans with what they've done through the first 2 quarters plus, and a third down to determine how the third quarter begins offensively for Hanna's coming. That's nice also. Patterson with the catch. He's down the near side, and they got something further to smile about. A little toss to K.D. Patterson and now deep in man territory.
Well, and that's all set up by their ability to run. And, you know, you're still 3rd and 6, but you figure that they're probably going to run the football, and you go off play action. And we've seen the success of Patterson. He had 2 catches for 86 yards. We can all, well, it's high school, we can all do the math in that. That's pretty good. And that was pretty good right there.
Stories, as we've said here at Hanna, of hope, reasons to smile. You think about what community has meant at a place like this, and this community on this night rallying behind the defense, the special teams impact, and there's the offensive moment to go with it as Hanna keeps it on the ground inside the 20. Deeper into the red zone at the 15 as they give it to KD Patterson one more time. He had the most recent touchdown run, one of a couple of touchdowns run tonight. Patterson and Williams with them. The Harkness fumble recovery in the end zone on the difficult snap for man. Those 20 points unanswered thus far, and Hanna looking for more as we speak. And they're set up one more time in the First Bank red zone. First Bank, over 20 locations to serve you in Western North Carolina, the upstate of South Carolina. What will this First Bank red zone opportunity hold? Inside the 15 and down to the 12-yard line.
I mean, so difficult. We saw the pass that went to Patterson, and we saw him cut in motion from the right wing back spot, and he set it up beautifully, and the block out on the edge opened it up for him. Trayvon Johnson there, and he stutter stepped a little bit, cut inside. He got about 2 or 3 more yards, and then you got to defend Williams up inside. I mean, it's very difficult to defend.
Williams with the touchdown run tonight. Patterson with a touchdown run tonight. 1 yard and 2 yards respectively to cap drives with good field position for Hanna. This one a little more distant. The drive itself, the distance required, yet Hanna keeps on digging. And the other thing they keep on doing, Tom, with this ground attack is not only pushing closer to the end zone here, but eating up more of this third quarter as well. Here's Johnson getting involved. He's been the third of the back tonight.
You know, in your pregame interview with Jason Tome, he's talking about what he did against Woodmont and some of the other games that he's played this year. Has kind of settled in there, young guy, and you got Patterson there, you got Williams, and yeah, a number of guys you can put back there, but he's having a good night tonight.
Yeah, we said, who's the guy that can take that next step for you, that you believe is right on the verge there, that's in that tier of really being a difference maker? Called his name, and he's shown you why tonight. Calling his number again here, though he is going to be ran down the line and stopped at the 7-yard line. 5.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Hanna knocking on the door. Again, man led 7-0 in the early stages of this contest. Patriots not only have not scored since, they've had a hard time slowing TL Hanna's roll since. Here are the Jackets again on the move. 2nd and goal. Big bodies in the interior. None bigger on this occasion than Williams, who carries it home for his 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Jackets make it 26 unanswered to extend the lead to its largest with 5:04 to play in the third.
You know, Jason, you go back that 3rd down and 6 and the pass play to Patterson. I mean, if you get one more look at it up inside, if you do that and you hold them, then you're going to get the ball back. But able to convert that and take it on down to score.
Levi Gainey, Nate Malcolm, Jamichael Jones, Malachi Miles, Lauren Metz. We're saying again, Tom, the guys up front winning those battles in the trenches for TL Hanna, making all the difference in this one. Regardless of who the back is, it's worked to perfection. 2-point try. High pointing it on the jump and bringing it down for 2 more on the board. Walker Kelly, he's shown off those neon gloves on more than one occasion tonight. A defensive swat earlier and a 2-point conversion here. 28 unanswered for the Jackets, and everything going according to script for TL Hanna tonight.
Welcome back to Friday Night Rivals. Well, folks, I'm standing here on the side of the beautiful cheerleader at TL Hanna High School. For $5.
Always nice to be here at TL Hanna High. And boy, Jackets feeling pretty good about the way things have gone so far. And Tom Kelly right in the middle of defensive contribution earlier. He goes up, brings it out of the sky for the 2-point conversion, and suddenly the full extent of 3 touchdowns, the Jackets advantage.
Well, how about that? I mean, that's probably about the last thing you're thinking about with going for 2 down the 3-yard line is to throw it up. And he was instrumental in success of the defense, too, prior to getting the ball on offense. I mean, complete the 2-point catch there, going up and getting it.
And for a team that does nearly everything on the ground, he reminds you there is an option up top when needed. Jackets to kick it away, up 21. And JL Mann, fresh off a lopsided win of their own in that surprising region contest earlier in the year. Now facing quite the hill to climb here. This is a good start as the return is strong from Kayshawn Henderson to get it up near midfield.
Yeah, imperative now on this particular possession. Took it at the 2-yard line. And look at the number of moves that he makes along the way. He'll use the stiff arm here, and in just a moment to get a couple of more yards up the sideline.
Here's where it gets tough, Tom. With the way Hanna rushes the football and their approach offensively, yes, it's mid-third quarter, but you begin to count the number of touches you're going to have in this football game. Something you would think for JL Mann has to start, and has to start now.
Imperative they get something going here. The touchdown to begin things, first possession. They punted. They had a fumble recovery in the end zone for TL Hanna on their next possession, and the last 3 have been punts. 5 possessions the first half. This is only the second possession here in the third quarter, and we're under 4.5 to play.
We have seen Darnell. We have seen Bryant at the quarterback position at times. It is Darnell out there awaiting the snap now, and he's got all kind of receivers to work with as he rolls to his right. Looking downfield, and there were bodies colliding, and you almost knew the flags were coming. He tried at the end to shake loose and avoid further contact, but Cam Strong with enough disruption that the flags fly, and you would think that this is going to be defensive pass interference. It will.
And one more look at it here, and hadn't really had a whole lot of time to throw the football. Has been under pressure tonight. Had a little bit there. Walker in the GA, and then just goes down the field, and you'll see he's just coming over the back there. That's a good matchup there between Strong and the wide receiver Kayshawn Henderson.
Yeah, Strong, as I said, tried to break loose at the very end of that, but that was after balance had been lost for Henderson, and the officials saw enough. So the pass interference moves it into Hanna territory. A little further it goes into Hanna territory on this rush from Morrison. Remember, Esias Morrison had the touchdown on the opening drive for JL Mann of the football game, and is still the only scoring for Mann in the contest tonight.
And a Mann team that's averaging 44 points per ball game so far, and it's also a TL Hanna team that has given up 29.5 points per ball game.
His touchdown run was of 17 yards earlier in the game. It's going to be handed off to Jones. And Obadiah Jones going to be good to make it a 3rd down and manageable here with under 4 minutes to play in the third quarter. Boy, pivotal 3rd down right here.
It is. JL Mann has not been able to get much going on the outside. Chandricus Vance again has been a factor in this game, able to run it down on the edge.
3rd down coming. One of the key plays of the football game right here. And looking down the middle for 6. Right in the grasp of Henderson, who has been targeted so often tonight. None more consequential than this one, as Darnell hits a wide open Henderson for a touchdown on a 3rd down play. Something suddenly brewing for JL Mann.
3rd down and 1. Great call there. You're probably thinking if you're TL Hanna, they're just going to, get that 1st down, grind it out there. But, you're out of the shotgun there. And nice pass.
Just when the Patriots had to have something, they call upon Keyshawn Henderson again. He's able to work his way behind the defenders. And an on-target delivery from Darnell makes it a 28-13 contest. Here's the extra point, the bid for 28-14. It is true. JL Mann with a late 3rd quarter answer. If you're going to do something in the 3rd, why not turn to number 3? Patriots back in the end zone. Well, they came a long way to see JL Mann take care of business here in Anderson County tonight. After scoring the 1st touchdown of the night, Mann saw Hanna score 28 unanswered. Back in business now as we take a look at some of our Stewart fans of the game. Pretty good group making the trip down on this chilly Thursday night, Tom.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's been tough if you think about Greenville County, and Hillcrest got to go in Greenville last year, and Coach Watson's done one heck of a job in his 5th year.
Absolutely.
And he has kind of turned things around a bit as far as Greenville County is concerned. All of a sudden be a factor, and they came back, and that was a 60-yard drive at a minute 27. That's pretty quick. And so we know that they have done that, but TL Hanna's done a great job to avoid the big plays there, but able to get one. Now here comes a really big defensive team.
A lot of football left in this one. Just a 2-score game as they bookended all the Hanna scoring as JL Mann to this point. Good return for Hanna, though. Better than a good return for Hanna. All the way goes Hatton for a touchdown. If you're looking for a response from TL Hanna, the lights flicker to show you just found one. The Jackets return a 2nd special teams moment of the night from Antonio Hatton. Just like that, Hanna reestablishes the lead.
And watching all the blocking and breaks the tackle there. That's a bad feeling if you're the kicker. And just once he got the head of his team there and able to accelerate and take it the distance for the touchdown. He had one for 73 to set up the touchdown. That one about, what, 94 or 5?
Boy, after all the good work Mann did, Tom, to get on the board and try and change the momentum, TL Hanna with the special teams counterpunch from Antonio Hatton. They're going to call it 98 yards for Antonio Hatton, and it is worth another look.
And once he got out of the open field there, nobody was going to catch him there. And again, a very dangerous kick returner. And after his kickoff return was really one of the big ones as well in this ball game. After Mann had scored the 1st touchdown, and he got it down to the 25-yard line. That got the game tied at 7, as you mentioned, 1st of 28 consecutive.
So what you're telling me is every time it looks like Mann's going to do something positive, it has been number 1 in your program, number 1 in your hearts for the Jackets, rising to the occasion and turning the tide of this football game. Well, all that with 3:14 still to go in the third quarter. And a 35-14 lead in effect. Talk about taking the wind out of the sails of your opponent just when they have some positive things trending their direction. Antonio Hatton has been the formula for that on the Hanna side.
Well, you're talking about the 73-yard return that set up a 25-yard drive, a fumble recovery in the end zone on a bad snap down near the goal line, and then you have the 98-yard kickoff return. There's 21 points right there in this ballgame.
Hatton, the 2 kickoff returns. Harkness, the fumble recovery in the end zone a little bit earlier. Those are the defensive and special teams contribution alongside the trio of touchdowns offensively for TL Hanna. Set to kick it away one more time. That's going to go into the end zone. Well, you're kicking with a little more energy now, right? Enough to punch it into the end zone for the touchback. Is everybody on the Hanna side feeling good? There is a motion penalty that is going to be assessed, and this one's going to need to be kicked again. You can look across at the far side, and moments after we showed you some of the excitement on the face of the fans for JL Mann, just a stunned sense for Patriots fans who made the journey down tonight. Just as quickly as they began to close up on the heels of this Hanna team, Jackets placed them at arm's length once more. But if one of these two teams has quick strike capability, it's the Patriots. Keep in mind there is a quarter plus of football left, so this one far from settled. Return to the 20. And some of that capability coming in the return game here up to the 30, maybe more, as there might have been a grab of the face mask there as the flag comes in at the 29-yard line. Here comes another at the end of the play on the return of Keyshawn Henderson.
You know, that could be two, right? On if the first one is against TL Hanna. Let's see.
Now, of course, you say, well, Hanna just had the quick strike on that kick. Well, special teams wise, yes. But if one of these two offenses is built for quick strike, it is the air raid approach of JL Mann. We'll find out where they'll be starting from once the penalty's sorted out.
Two penalty markers there. One of them was during the tackle, and then that one was after it as well. Okay.
Well, offsetting face masks, one on each side. You had the beginning developing moments, you might say, of this play. A face mask against the receiving team, we're told. And then the official said the flag at the end of it was a face mask.
I think the stiff arm there, yeah, great camera work tonight to catch that one.
Went right up in that stiff arm attempt. Talk about putting him at arm's length. Man is on the scoreboard, and it'll stay that way. Kelly again in there to turn it aside. He just had the 2-point conversion pulled down successfully a bit ago, and that's the second time Walker Kelly, the linebacker, class of 26, has risen above to swat it away.
Yeah, just come off that left edge. That's the second time, as you called, Jason. He's been able to do that. He reads it. Nice job. Good elevation. Got those green gloves.
Second down for Garnell and company. Trots backward and throws this near the feet of Henderson, his intended target, one more time. Remember, Henderson had the touchdown earlier, right down the middle of the field toward the post. They're going to need a play similar to that one on what is 3rd down and 10. Inside 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. It was a 3rd down, but in a much different scenario on the other side of the field on 3rd and short. That man parlayed into a touchdown earlier. Here they need 10. That would be this and then some, but too much air underneath it for Henderson to get there. It's incomplete, and Mann will be forced to kick it away with 2:47 left in the third.
Quick 3 and out there. It started with a great job by the defensive end, or actually the outside linebacker, Walker Kelly, make a nice play there.
Effective on both sides of the football tonight, Walker Kelly. Wearing jersey number 17 in those neon green gloves. Left-footed punt. Fair caught at the 39. That's where TL Hanna will take over. Well, you have to look at the entire defensive unit, Tom, when you try to determine who is going to be our Henson Mulchin Moore dirty jersey of the game. A lot of those dirty jerseys on the TL Hanna side of things, as they have applied pressure all night long to this man offense, and they are the recipients of our Henson's Mulchin Moore dirty jersey of tonight's football game. I guess you got to make it plural.
Well, I'll tell you what, just a great effort against a high-scoring team. And I mean, you're talking about Darnell, who came in at 68% and 189.6 yards per game passing, and 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And we've seen the second one as well pop in there to Riot as well, get a chance to play a little bit of quarterback. But just a remarkable defensive performance here tonight. We gave you the documented the numbers, and 42-40 ball game they had against Gaffney in overtime and things like that. So a really good job defensively.
Defense has made it tough tonight. Here's Patterson offensively. He's up across the 43 to the 44-yard line. It's been a trio, three-headed monster in many ways for Man fans on the TL Hanna side. Offensively, of course, KD Patterson, Dalen Williams, who both have touchdown runs, and Trayvon Johnson, the sophomore, in the mix. That trio has carried the load on the ground for a TL Hanna team out front, just like they draw it up, Tom, and now trying to take time off that clock with extended drives in this triple option offense.
An important 5 yards on first down.
Gavin Megan going to hand off again. And across the 45 on the give to Bozeman.
That's a
third down, and looks like they're going to call it about 4 here with 1.5 minutes to play in the quarter.
You need a big stop here.
Matt Bozeman comes running off. And running it all the way down to 1:15 before the snap. Give to Williams. He's going to get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. So a JL Mann team that has found it hard to turn aside these Hanna drives will bring up a 4th down here near midfield, and the punting unit looks to be trotting out there. Jacob Twark, the talented punter for TL Hanna, will stand back at his 31. Be Rice and Henderson back to return for JL Mann. Well, that was a must-have defensive stop for the Patriots there. Question is, can the offense get jump started? This is going to make it tougher. How about this roll? Second tremendous punt tonight from Jacob Twark. And it will be blown dead just outside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, you never know how that oblong ball is going to bounce. And it took a nice TL Hanna hop there, and a long way to go. And that was a good defensive stand. It's been a long time since been able to get off the field in a hurry.
Just 22 seconds on the third quarter game clock. You see the separation on the scoreboard that TL Hanna has created. And this air raid, quick strike offense, find a way to tighten things for the Patriots of JL Mann. Certainly not out of it with the scoring capability. Tom told you what they're able to do to a talented Hillcrest team. You remember the shootout in the overtime scenario with the Gaffney Indians earlier in the year. The capability is there for Mann, but it is go time for the Patriots crew in red, white, and powder blue. He set the chains. Everything seems to be ready now at just outside the 10-yard line. On the ground. Nice run by Morrison, who had the touchdown to start things tonight. Just a single touchdown in the third on a pass to Henderson. Those 14 points, all Mann has mustered on the road at Hanna. Having given up 35, they'll see that the separation as we head to the fourth. Here in the Electric City of Anderson, South Carolina, the home-standing Jackets from TL Hanna carry a sizable lead to the fourth. On a 48-degree night at TL Hanna High School in Anderson County, Jackets carry a 35-14 lead into the fourth. Patriots with the football. JL Mann knowing something must happen right here and right now with 12 minutes remaining. And a key Region 1 5A contest that rattled right in and out of Morrison's grasp, incomplete. Third down coming. And again, Tom, I go back to that scenario with Hanna's offensive style. How many touches of the football do you have left if you're JL Mann? Makes this possession critical.
That's why it's so important to get that stop defensively from Mann a moment ago. And here comes a huge play.
Third down as time is becoming a factor of the fourth underway. Darnell pushed out of the pocket, toss one, intercepted. Picked off by TL Hanna's defense. That's the one thing Hanna had not done tonight. Dreek Vance changes that right here and right now.
It all started again. We talked about Darnell and his ability to throw the football this year, but he has been under pressure all night long. I mean, he just got to throw it on the run there, and got great read cut in front there. Jade Martin, a 6'1", 245-pound senior, you see him there putting all the pressure, and look at that read and cut in front, and able to make that catch and inbounds. Nicely done as he cut in front of Toby Wilkins there.
First down, Jackets. Stacking up Patterson after about a yard. The clock goes in motion for TL Hanna. Nice field position for Hanna again at the 30-yard line on second down and 9.
Tell you this,
yeah, Martin on that last play, he gets an assist on that, and you love the football IQ of the interception by Vance being kept in bounds with his fancy footwork. So this is a Hanna team that did everything the right way. Now the defense, after the fumble recovery for a touchdown, has the interception forced to go with it here on a key third down. Williams to the 25. Boy, he runs downhill with a head of steam, Tom.
He does. The 220 and, big time collision there. Another outstanding effort by Wyatt Ward, the inside linebacker, the Old State. 56 tackles coming in, leading his team in that category in the last couple of years, his coach told us, like 150 tackles per year the last 2.
Gavin Megan, who has directed traffic effectively tonight. Hands the third down snap to Patterson, and he finds just enough room to move the chains into the red zone. He's got a First Bank red zone first down at the 20-yard line. And boy, that was all after the touch of KD Patterson.
Well, and the ball handling has been so good. I mean, it is a situation where you get one more look at it here, and he makes a nice cut there and powers up inside. But the ability not to turn it over, and I'm saying at some point he's going to pull that out, and that right side is wide open. But Patterson's had a great night. Johnson's had a night. And we've talked about that O-line and the success that they have had as well to set things up.
First down give to Williams in the middle, and he's pinballing around off-white jerseys left and right till he gets to the 17-yard line. Man, that was a third down play on which Hanna converted once more, thanks to KD Patterson, the all-state performer from a season ago. And just 3 returners, as you talked about in the early portion of this broadcast, Tom. But the group around them growing up before our very eyes on a night like this, as TL Hanna has been dominant, and now finding themselves in the First Bank red zone, content to let that clock wind on down ahead of the second down play. Patterson again to the 15.
Jason, this score is going to open some eyes.
Yes,
not only
it will.
5A Region 1, but across the state of South Carolina, as JL Mann came into this game as the 7th ranked team, and they beat the number 10 team Hillcrest 31-0.
Handily, yes. And on this occasion, the script has been flipped on them, getting handled right now by the Jackets of TL Hanna, looking for more. You know, here in Anderson County, when they turn the lights off, it's just to flicker them on a touchdown celebration. But this may be a turn out the lights type drive for TL Hanna if they can continue to eat the clock and finish it with some type of points. This fourth down going to be determinative, though.
You see Ward there. He made another tackle and kept it to a short game. And they're going to bleed that clock here under 8 minutes.
It's the benefit of the offense that TL Hanna runs. Go back to that point we made earlier in the game, too. One thing about short weeks, and when you're playing 4 games in 14 days, not a lot of time to prepare for this offense. You don't see that much. Hanna has capitalized on that. And they continue to capitalize on the great work up front, pushing the pile in front of KD Patterson, who sets it up 1st and goal from the 5.
It is so tough to defend this offense. You've got Williams lone back at 220, then you got Patterson, or you've got Johnson coming off either edge. You get a look at it here, and he's able to make that read. The blocking out in front of him is excellent, and the momentum, you push him ahead for another couple of yards.
You know what you love at the end of this play? A couple of offensive linemen high-fiving one another at the very end of the sequence, knowing this means a lot more time will go off that game clock and possibly the finishing touches on what's going to be an eye-opening W for TL Hanna.
Well, the one thing about it, you mentioned those offensive linemen, and they somewhat labor in a sea of anonymity and don't get the name called all that much, but it's because of what they do that allows the opportunity to pick up some of those big games.
You may be wondering, you know, who will Hanna be battling it out with for a championship? Stick around. Whatever happens on this drive, we'll kind of break down how the postseason looks in South Carolina upstate high school football and what it will mean. The way things will be split in the postseason a week later than expected, because this is a Hanna team serving notice on a night like this, Tom, that they plan on being in the thick of that postseason push once again. Right now set up for a 3rd down and goal at the 5-yard line after Oliver's carry. And the fact that this goes to third down just eats almost all that clock away.
Yeah, it started at 11:32, and we're under 6 minutes to go, and it started back at the 32-yard line at the JL Mann 32-yard line after the interception.
You cap it with a TD, it'll be backbreaking in many ways for their opponents. The Patriots staying on his feet, but stacked up at about the 3-yard line on this third down play. Is the ball carrier, and here comes a flag at the end of this as the clock stops with 5:31 to go. Well, Tom, while they sort this out, we promised it. TL Hanna, you know, there's going to be a Division I and a Division II in 5A this year for the first time in a while.
Yes.
TL Hanna is going to be on the Division II side. That means you put them in there with the likes of Gaffney and Northwestern as some of the traditional powers that are also going to go Division II based on enrollment once they split them upper enrollments and lower in numbers enrollments to Division I and Division II. So this is a Hanna team serving notice on a night like tonight to teams like Northwestern and Gaffney and on down the line that they're going to be a force to be reckoned with once again, despite some of the early returns as this young group was growing up together. This Hanna team looking strong against one of the recent powers to emerge in upstate football in JL Mann. And ahead of the fourth down play, another flag drops with 5:19 to go. Because I'm with you. The fact that they're able to come away with a win here, maybe not the shocking part, but the dominance with which Hanna has performed tonight, that will raise eyebrows across the state.
Offense, defense, special teams.
Absolutely.
You go back to the days of the Big 16, right?
Yeah, those of us who grew up in these parts, the Big 16 era. And, you know, there was a Division I and a Division II championship. Of course, just a handful of years ago, before the 5A classification was added, there was a Division I and a Division II championship. That returns this year. TL Hanna knowing which side of that they will be on as they'll compete for a Division II title. Tonight, trying to pick up a key Region I 5A win. Timeout with fourth down coming on the other side of the break. As we said, what a joy tonight to have you back with us, to have Friday night rivals, even on Thursday night here, back on the road. And we roll on to Spartanburg County next week. Boy, what a showdown between Burns and Spartanburg. Talk about championship pursuits. Two teams that have known about that for decades and will battle it out in Spartanburg County. We don't know what the rest of the schedule holds just yet. We'll update you as soon as some of that becomes clear. It's a day-to-day enjoyment in the Carolinas right now on so many fronts. We do know for sure we'll be with you from Spartanburg next week as Burns and Spartanburg in Region 2 5A here in the Palmetto State will do battle. Fourth down coming for TL Hanna after the timeout, trying to put the finishing touches in many ways on this one by creating such separation on the scoreboard with 5 and change to go. Going to be KD Patterson, and he lunges for the end zone and finds his second touchdown of the night. The lights will flicker, and TL Hanna will begin the celebration as they lead at 41-14 with 5 and change to go. The hat trick for KD Patterson tonight as he finds the end zone once more.
Just a dominating performance for TL Hanna. They scored 49 last time out, the most they'd scored this year in their win over Woodmont, and 41 on the board here tonight.
91 points. Remember, there was a stretch at which TL Hanna had 28 unanswered posted following the 7-0 lead for JL Mann early. And the Jackets in complete command as timeout's going to be called before the extra point. You know, Tom, we talked about going into Region 2 4A, or 5A, I should say, the old Region 2 4A. You had me thinking Big 16 a moment ago.
Yeah.
In Region 2 5A next week, they handled their scheduling a little bit differently. For Region 2, the vote was to do away with the 1 week and let it slide. In fact, they will make up the 27th of September slate on November 8th. But in Region 2, they are dropping the October 4th week and just playing the schedule that is 1 game less. Whereas we talked about 4 games in 14 days here in Region 1 as they opted to play all 10 games of the regular season schedule. So a little bit of a different wrinkle there as they head into the playoffs in that region.
Yeah, voted on that, and both coaches here tonight we talked to were in favor of playing that. It's very quick with this and Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday ball games. 4 and 14 days.
Yeah, and Hanna going to turn right around and play on Tuesday. You said it, then again next weekend to complete that run and get back on track schedule-wise. They'll have a couple of what would be traditional weeks before rolling into the playoffs with the way Region 1 voted to handle the schedule. Everything backs up 1 week in terms of the state championship. Keep that in mind on the calendar as well. Piece of this for the man defense, but it rolls through anyway. And 42-14 is now the Hanna advantage. There is K.D. Patterson's touchdown run as they make the interception count to extend the lead. .42 posted by TL Hanna. Hanna trailed 7-0 early in this one. And after rolling it to 28-7, now cruising on toward a 42-14 lead. You know, Tom, I go back to your point about this raising some eyebrows. This looks like the TL Hanna the last several years, making those deep playoff runs and dominant in the ground game. They've used a trio of backs tonight in Patterson, Williams, and Johnson to make it very difficult on the JL Mann Patriots. But it really has been the defense and the special teams that have stolen away the headline. This is into the end zone. There's another kick for a touchback, which is a strength and a luxury when you're trying to win football games. You think about the 2 tremendous returns that were handled by Hatton as Antonio Hatton became a headliner. You had the defense fall on a errant snap in the end zone. I mean, this is a Jackets team that has done it in all 3 phases.
Yeah, they've played really well tonight. And I think a lot of folks wondered not only how these 2 teams, but everybody coming back from that long layoff because of the destruction. And you figured there are going to be some kind of growing pains a little bit, but this is the 2nd game back.
Well, you had the numbers as the Patriots go to work here. You had the numbers on just how much was affected in the state in terms of the number of games that teams had to figure out.
Yeah, it was basically 4 counties that were affected in 66 total games were postponed, canceled, and at that particular point in time, you really couldn't make a statewide decision on that, and it was up to the local areas and regions to make their own decisions about what they wanted to do. So that's going to affect down the line in different parts of South Carolina as you move back. Those that weren't affected, you're going to have a little bit of an issue as far as maybe having some time off.
Deep shot. Another in the direction of Henderson. Had to make an adjustment. Good enough coverage to turn that aside. And that goes back to what we've shared a couple of times tonight, that Region 1 5A coaches got together. They decided they wanted to play all 10 games, which means they had to condense the schedule. You're seeing Saturday games and Thursday games and Tuesday games to get back on track and get everything in. In Region 2, they opted to let the 1 week go. And everybody aside from Burns and Dorman, who went ahead and played on Wednesday before the Friday that it came through, everybody else is going to lose the 1 full week and have to make the 1 up. And they decided just to let the September 27th week be the makeup week and let the October 4th slate go by the wayside. So a number of different ways it was handled. But all in all, everybody will be set to start the playoffs. Everything is pushed a week later, and the state championship will be that second weekend in December, as opposed to the first weekend in December, to let everybody play a little catch up. So that's what you're playing for in the Palmetto State. Things still being worked out across the state line in North Carolina. Again, we'll bring all that info to you as it becomes readily available. But you know, these coaches and players doing everything they can to try to create, and this is what we talked about earlier, as much as sports can possibly do it, because it's very low on the totem pole, obviously, of what matters, and our hearts and minds and thoughts remain with what matters in the Carolinas. But though it's low on the totem pole, it means so much to these communities, can provide some hope, can provide a ray of light, and in an effort to do just that, they're making every possible opportunity available to get these young men back on the field for these communities, for their own careers, for themselves, for the states, and everything it means to so many. And you know, having to handle it very different ways, Tom, but those in leadership positions doing everything they can to make it happen.
Oh, and by the way, you got to win 5 games to win the state championship. The other thing, one final point on that is, because it moved back, it's going to change a couple of all-star games too.
Yes, the Shrine Bowl, as you well know, will be adjusted, but will be played between the Sandlappers and the Tar Heels as usual. And then the North-South game also being moved because playoff football will now impact those usual scenarios in the month of December to give these that have earned a right to shine in those all-star performances the chance to still be a part of those games, even if they have a deep playoff run. 4:23 to play. Two teams with tremendous expectations playoff-wise. Locking horns tonight after JL Mann threw the first punch. It has been TL Hanna. 28 unanswered to go up 28-7 at the time. Mann scored in the third to close it up to 28-14. That's as close as the Patriots have been, as it is now a 42-14 lead, and we're now inside 4 minutes to go with this flag, backing up the Patriots a little further. And it's been a tough night for JL Mann all the way around.
Yeah, it has, and relatively unexpected. They've been so good, and you know, Coach Watson has done such a great job there. 11-3 last year, lost to Dutch Fork in the Upper State Championship, 31-30. Their best season in 40 years, 7-5 the year before. Prior to that, 10 consecutive losing seasons.
Well, a reminder of just how capable this team is. Kayshawn Henderson tried to slide in underneath this reception, which would have been a long gain in the first down in the red zone, but it falls incomplete with 3:31 to play. You talk about the first impact in some time. Got to go back to that Upper State Championship, Region Championship season of 1984 for the JL Mann Patriots, before the type of success that they enjoyed in that 11-3 season last year in Region 1 5A. On the ground to Obadiah Jones. Jones carries it to the 30-yard line. Time the enemy of this Patriot squad right now. And they face a 3rd down and 4. You talked about preventing explosive plays and controlling the football as the keys for Hanna. Get an A grade on both of those fronts. Here was another potential explosive play that is off of Holmes and out of his grasp. I think it's safe to say that your keys to the game tonight, Tom, were heard and responded to by the guys in those Jackets colors.
Oh, he talked about the balance that Mann has had. 178 rush, 174 rush, 194 pass. But I tell you, the pressure that has been put on both Darnell and trying to get a chance to play a little bit here in the ball game, first half, second half as well. And they've done a nice job out of the perimeter, not allowing them to get the big gainers that way. So overall, it's just been a very nice effort.
Timeout being taken. We will take it as well with just under 3 minutes to play at TL Hanna. Well, the celebration having begun for the Yellow Jackets of TL Hanna. You know, this is going to be one of those weeks that you circle. The game may have been played on a Thursday night. You can't say you circle this Friday night, right, like you normally would. But this is one of those weeks you're going to circle. Not only the number of games Hanna's got to play in a short stretch, but this is a statement-type victory there on the horizon of time.
Well, it really is. And, you know, coming off scoring 49 last week and, you know, playing well, 3 returning starters offense, 3 on defense, getting better as the season's gone on. And everybody had that big break there, and they've come back strong.
Something about these programs as they snuff out a 4th down, and that is the defensive exclamation point on the night. Provided by Martin, who gets in there to shut it down. Jaden Martin with the sack that puts the finishing touches on an all-around solid defensive night. A turnover on downs, and it's back in Hanna's grasp. Here's one more look at the QB sack.
Nothing there. I mean, he came up and didn't allow him to get outside, forced it back inside, and there are a couple of guys that have been there all night long up inside, including Jaden Martin, as well as Chandricus Vance.
Hanna's become one of those programs in South Carolina. You know, you could talk about a school that'll have a year here or there. You could talk about one of those cycles in which the right group of kids comes through and is able to really have their moment. This is a Hanna team. When you look at 2018, you look at 2020, you look at the advancement to the second round of the playoffs, even though that's been the hurdle in recent history the last 3 years. And you look at this team now coming of age, even though the expectations maybe weren't as incredibly high because of their youth. But when you're in one of these programs, Tom, you seem to just find a way.
Yeah, you do. And you and I have done enough games here. We go back to actually the day that Kenya Faust was here, and then Bruce Isles, we knew him from Polk County, came down here for 3 years. They went 1-10, and then 8-5, 6-5, and then turned it over to Jeff Herron, and he won 25-2 in the last 6 years. And Jason Tone and hit there, and they had the championship run there in 2020 and 28-6 lost to Dutch Fork, with Dutch Fork 7 out of the last 8. But kind of the bugaboo has been that second round, and tough game at Dutch Fork last year, 31-28. Dutch Fork just able to get it done, beat JL Mann 31-30 in the Upper State Final, and went on and won the championship last year. And they actually lost 5 games a year.
Yeah, yet again able to win the title. That the most improbable of Dutch Fork's title. That course, Gaffney team, the only team in this run that's been able to handle Dutch Fork.
Yeah.
Did so at Benedict a handful of years ago. And, you know, everybody else that has come up against Dutch Fork, it's been the Silver Foxes. They have dominated the 5A classification in South Carolina. Obviously, we talk about it now. There's going to be a split in the classification where it goes Division I, Division II. And this Hanna team, as we referenced earlier, if they can continue to work their way forward, they're going to be fighting the likes of Northwestern and Gaffney and those that will be in the Division II side of things whenever the playoffs roll around here in a few weeks.
Yeah, Northwestern Gaffney are 2-3 in 5A this week back at Dutch Fork.
Yeah, behind only who?
Yeah.
You said it, Dutch Fork. 50 seconds remaining, final minute for a Hanna team that has, again, served notice tonight that they're going to be one of those teams standing as a force to be reckoned with in the playoffs, and content to just continue to hand it off. Keegan Strickland getting some valuable time here at the quarterback position in the closing moments. As with 36 seconds to play, the celebration has already reached quite a resounding tone for the head coach who bears that name, his staff, and his players who have been impressive tonight. Mann takes back over. It's of little consequence now, as with 36 seconds to play. Outcome all but decided here. You have to love the Patriots still fighting, and there's a toss in the direction of the end zone that is out of the reach of his intended target, Toby Wilkins.
I'll tell you, TL Hanna and West Side have had some matchups over the years.
We've had that matchup on our air before, the Battle of the Electric City. And this county is bragging rights on the line.
And West Side won it earlier this year, 56-20. They're #1 team in 4A. Daniel's #2, and this is a JL Mann team that beat Daniel earlier this year, 28-23. And they usually don't lose games for regular season.
Now you're talking about some of the great powers in South Carolina with those lists that you reel off, and two teams that were expected to be class of the field in Region 1 5A tangling tonight. An impressive win as you see a smile come across the face of the head man here at TL Hanna. His Jackets answering the call tonight on so many levels, and with 19 seconds to play, just moments away from putting the finishing touches on this W. Roll out this way. There's going to be a flag tacked onto the end of this, as it looked like the little extra at the end of that took out some of our media members down that side.
You worry about that on the sidelines. Keep your head on the swivel.
Yep, looks like everybody's up and okay. Carrying a lot of equipment to make sure they get the close in.
You got a close up there.
Photos of the action, and that one's coming right at you. But again, popping up quickly, and looks like everybody's okay, which is great news. That late hit will move JL Mann a little closer to the end zone. But Tom, you reflect on this one, it's a bit of a formality now. It's his team.
Gotta be happy.
You can tell it with the body language. His team doing everything they were asked to do. You know, he talked about how different the weeks have been. He said, you know, you can't get in pads at certain times. You're practicing on Saturdays, which is something, you know, we never do. But you're doing whatever's necessary to answer the bell in these moments. And his team has. JL Mann with one more moment tonight with a tick remaining on the game clock. The Patriots take the penalty and capitalize by making the score 42-20 with a third touchdown tonight for JL Mann. No quit in these Patriots. They keep on fighting.
They had an opportunity there, and watch this effort by Toby Wilkins to get into the end zone, just get it across, reach there. Positioning by the official there, and able to get that touchdown, continue to play hard.
Toby Wilkins was the target a bit earlier down this near side on what was for a moment an open look. And nothing doing. On the extra point, who's there but Walker Kelly, who had more than one moment tonight with those neon green gloves. He's there to finally take care of it once the snap became an issue.
That's a bad feeling.
Mann's going to be held steady at 20 points with 1 second remaining. So Patriots will kick it away. And Hanna will party into the night here in Anderson County, as they have more than doubled up the Patriots in this one.
And you mentioned it, Jason. We were talking with Coach Stone there. How do you handle that? You played on a Saturday, you played on a Thursday, and you got to get right back at it. You've got to let your body heal a little bit, and so that's something they definitely have to work on as well.
As he said, it's something you've never done before. We were kind of discussing with him, you do everything you can with young student athletes to make sure you create a routine for them. This has been anything but routine for these young men, but you look back a few years ago and a lot of the adjustments that were required, and then an understanding and a perspective of what really matters versus where football falls in there. You hope the lessons that are being learned in this area and beyond for these young men will be lessons that serve them for a lifetime. Again, as men, as contributors to society, as parts of these communities, that each of these coaches remind us each week is what it's all about, well beyond what happens on the gridiron. And we say tonight, related to our broadcast, Tom, well beyond what has happened on the gridiron, it has been great to be back for our fans in the Carolinas, and certainly our station based right there in Western North Carolina, where so many have lost so much and have battled and persevered through so much. And it has been a pleasure and a joy tonight to bring something that's a semblance of the community and what usually is back to you in the form of high school football and local football on this night. That is the kickoff that will bring it to a close. 42-20 is going to be the final, as TL Hanna takes a Thursday night for a spin. And the Jackets come away with a big win over a ranked foe in JL Mann. An impressive victory for Coach Tony coming.
Yeah, they got it done all three phases of the game and really did a great job. They've got to feel really good about what they can accomplish. And, even it's a tough one for JL Mann. They still got a lot in front of them.
Well, the Bojangles Trophy presentation is coming up from Anderson County right after this final break.
Quite like
are set to go on the board. Ball is still intercepted. Well, TL Hanna in all facets impressive tonight. The Jackets with a defensive touchdown, had a fumble recovery in the end zone, also had an interception on the defensive side. Had in company some special teams moments, including a kickoff return, 98 yards for a TD, a lot of touchbacks out of the kicking game tonight, a 2-point conversion that was converted, Kelly in the thick of it, and then the offense with the trio of backs in the stable doing such nice work on the ground, led by Patterson and Williams, Johnson the sophomore. Coach Tone and his crew doing exactly what they had hoped tonight, to the tune of a 42-20 win, Tom.
Yeah, over a really good JL Mann team, and this you have got to really feel pretty good about it.
Well, it is time for the Bojangles Trophy presentation. Let's check in with the TL Hanna Yellow Jackets, standing by with Nelson.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Jason. This is the Coach's Corner, brought to you by Carolina Patriots Contest. Well, Coach, first thing is first, congratulations on an outstanding win. Since the dawn of football time, we've always heard that phrase, run that ball, just run that ball. And you guys did that with absolute perfection. Excellent job moving the ball down the field. Excellent job keeping the ball out of JL Mann's hands. And, of course, a perfect job putting up great points on the board. Talk to us about that offensive strategy, Coach.
Man, I can't say enough about our kids. They came ready to play. Great effort, and all game long. I'm so proud of the way they fought. Hats off to those guys.
Now, Coach, I can give your defense a whole lot of credit, including that beautiful interception the first few seconds of the fourth quarter. But you know I got to give some praise also to your special teams as well. Let's talk about that wonderful 98-yard kickoff return.
Yes, sir. I told them we really had a chance to run all year. Nobody really kicks it deep. I told them. They give us a shot, let's make them pay. And Antonio did a great job hitting the seam. The front wall and back wall did a great job blocking, and it was 88 out the gate.
I like it, Coach. Now, on a more serious note, as you know, Hurricane Helene left a devastating impact on the community. I'm talking about the Western North Carolina community and, of course, the upstate right here in our backyard. Let's talk about how special tonight's victory is, not just for your teammates, Coach, but for the TL Hanna fan base, the TL Hanna community, and, of course, the upstate region.
It's a great community win. Our kids, again, work really hard, and you know, they're striving to get better each and every day. This is 2 out of 4 games left. Okay, we got 4 games. We got to get ready. It's a school night, so they got to go to bed.
This beautiful trophy. Congratulations.
These are the moments in the memories that communities can rally around, and the young men will remember for a lifetime. We thank TL Hanna and JL Mann for entertaining us on this night. What a pleasure to be here as the Patriots and Jackets got together in Region 1 5A in South Carolina. To all of those in our viewing audience, those who are clinging to hope, those who are hanging in there and continuing to take care of one another, our hearts are with you. Our thoughts and prayers remain with you as you stick together. And we look forward to seeing you next week from Spartanburg County. Burns and Spartanburg next Friday night. This Thursday belongs to Hanna. It's quite the combo on this first consequential drive for TL Hanna.
Line between those two.
It's as difficult, going to be swallowed.